Philip Siracusa, sponsored by Carnation, airing live on the United Public Radio Network on 105.3 FM in New Orleans. This show's entrance has been edited, produced, and directed by Gwen from Perfect Trust Productions, LLC. You can find us at perfecttrustproductions.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monday night segment of Horsefly Chronicles Radio with myself, Julia Siracusa, and Philip Siracusa. We're broadcasting live from the International Public Radio and the United Paranormal Radio Network on 105.3 FM from New Orleans. This evening's show is fully sponsored by Carnation, so we want to thank them for their sponsorship. You will have to do a few things in order to participate. Go over to the YouTube channel UFO Paranormal Radio or International Public Radio. You can also go into all of our Facebook stations, UFO Paranormal Radio Network, UFO Undercover with Joe Montaldo, News on the Flip Side, also Twitch, SoundCloud, and Podbeam. Also go over to our group, Horsefly Chronicles Radio, and join if you haven't. And if you have any questions for our guests, you can ask. Our guest is having some technical difficulties, so when he comes, we will just pop him in. So I'm going to introduce him. Welcome, Mr. Kevin Kinkade, to the show. Kevin first became interested in the paranormal in his early 20s. He worked as a professional psychic, giving readings for clients in person, online, and at psychic fairs. Mr. Kinkade has also been a professional actor for many years, both on stage and screen. His book, The Dream World, is available on Amazon.com, which Kevin explains years and years of studying our dreams. So when he comes on, we are going to just bring him right up.
You know, he has an interesting bio. Let's talk about the dreams.
Oh my goodness. I really hope we can get him on the show tonight, because this really is, I was looking forward to really getting into that, the whole dream thing.
Do you remember your dreams?
I don't remember anything that has to do with the paranormal, but I do remember just weird random dreams, you know?
I feel like dreams are, in essence, another part of us. We, you know, as we exist physically, I believe in that sometimes in the dream state, we exist spiritually as well. And here's our guest. Hey, Yay! Can you hear us?
Oh, no.
Okay, so he's up on the screen. Okay. Kevin,
can
you hear us?
I hear you. Wow, finally.
Oh, okay. Thank goodness.
Oh, that's technology for you.
I
Nothing
can't
we can do about it.
Yes. It's a little choppy, but we're going.
No, you're right.
Sorry about this. I mean, this.
Oh, it's not. It happens. We just introduced you to all of our listeners, and we want to thank you so much for being able to come on tonight. Oh no.
So can you take us to the beginning?
Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Take us to the beginning, Kevin. You know, you're a psychic, so let's go back into childhood.
It's freezing.
It looks like we're still having technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Oh,
Kevin, can you hear us? No. We can't hear you, but
he might be able to hear us.
You can talk.
Oh, I hate when this happens.
But, you know, maybe that's what happens with technology.
He said his Wi-Fi is not connecting.
All right. So the dream state, you know, I do have dreams where I feel like they're real. I wake up the next day and it's as if you want to call it similar to an out-of-body experience. where the soul meets other souls. And I'm sure many people have that, where you're meeting people on the other side.
And you know them, but you don't know them.
Well, some people I don't know, and in the dream you know them.
And that's what his book is really about too.
Yeah. In the dream state, you know who the people are. And if you don't know, and then you wake up the next day, it's like, where did they come from? Who are they? But it's possible, from being in paranormal for so long and interviewing so many people throughout the years, that they're part of a soul group, a soul family.
Yeah.
You ever meet anybody and you're like, wait a second, I know you, but I never met you before.
Yes.
Right. So it's similar to that, where you've met the person and you're like, wait a second.
I love that. It's like you know them, but you just can't put your finger on where you know them.
And I believe that, from doing this, and I ask people, how can you communicate with loved ones that crossed over? I've asked many psychics and mediums throughout the years, and the best form is the dream state. It's when the body's most relaxed and its openness to a spiritual reality comes in.
And a lot of our guests have told us, and the listeners too, that when you have dreams, for the people that can't remember, to write them down, like to always have paper near your bed. That way you can write them down, and there they are. You'll remember them.
That's true. That's true. Keep a journal of dreams. Dreams do mean something, and sometimes the spirits are giving you information to help you, or to let you know what's going to come forward in the days. You ever wake up and you're like, wait a second, I dreamt that this is going to happen. For example, the car don't start.
Don't say that. Listen, okay? I got a problem. Don't say that.
But it does happen, where they give you a forewarning. It's happened to me too many times.
It's true.
They're saying, well, something is going to break or whatever. But there's also good things too.
Yeah.
I just haven't come across many of those good things yet.
We were just laughing before, because Phil likes to say.
But I will say this:
we got a problem, Julie. We got a problem.
The spirits have made contact. We have another problem. I will say this: that doing paranormal investigations and the dreams, there's many of times where, after the investigation, there's people in the dream at that point, that night, that I don't know. And is it possible that it's part of these spirits that are at these locations?
What did you call them before? Like the soul families. Yes.
Soul groups.
Yes. Very interesting.
So there is that possibility that there's that connection there. I will say this to everyone listening.
Very interesting.
Some dreams are real. There's lucid dreams, and there's other dreams that do manifest into things. And writing it down sometimes, if you're a dreamer, you're not a dreamer, are you?
I do have weird dreams. I mean, I can't really. I'll wake up and know I had a dream, but I can't put the puzzle together of really what was going on. I don't know. It's really weird. I wish I did.
I have dreams where I can wake up in the middle of the night, go to the bathroom, go back
into the dream,
and go right back into the dream.
I hate those kind of people.
I love it. I love those dreams. It's like, wait a second, That's
why I hate it, because it's not fair.
I'm having an awesome time on this side.
And you're also and
it's like you slip right back into the dream.
And you're also the type of person that could just fall asleep on dirt, like that.
Yeah, I fall asleep really quick.
Me, I'm just like.
So, I will say that the spirits, the good spirits and those that we love, I'm going to make you a promise to the listener that even though they may be gone in the physical world, and it's very hard for us to cope with it, it is. I promise you, from being a paranormal investigator and interviewing so many people from around the world, and having so many people come to my house in the field of psychic abilities and mediumship, that we do go on. It's not the end all. It's not.
It's really hard.
It's over, and it's hard. It's hard to grasp.
It's hard to tell the people too that have lost loved ones. What we know, what we feel to be true, because they don't get it, but we know that.
It's not the end. It never ends. There's always a open door. It's all willingness to try to communicate. But I believe from all these responses, the EVPs that were recorded, that they do watch us, they do observe us,
and they sent, yep,
and they're never truly gone.
and
Now,
they send a lot of signs, and a lot of times we miss those signs. Gotta watch out for the signs. You know, the music, the songs, the things that you just miss.
So here's something I'd like to share with people, because a lot of people are either affected or have crossed over from the illness that's currently going on. And I will say that this is my experience of what happened to me when I had this illness 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I was in the bad stage of it, and I woke up every day thinking it was my last day and my last breath at some points.
Yeah.
But this is what did happen 2 weeks into this, because it lasted a long time. I had a dream, and in the dream were my past relatives, and they brought me back in the dream state to like the 80s, and they were at my parents' home in Staten Island, New York, and they were not acknowledging that I was sick in the physical realm. They brought me back to a time of peace and feeling good, as if it was just back in the old days where I didn't. I went back in time, not only through the dream, but through the feeling of the human body. I was back in time. And the dream lasted for 3 consecutive days. So I'd wake up,
Wow.
I'd go back into that dream with them, every one of them, my aunts, my uncles, that are all crossed over. And then the next night, I would go back into the dream, and they were there. And this is when I was, again, suffering from this illness. And it told me something, and that's why I want to share it with so many people, is because in our time of need, those that have crossed over has proven to me that they're not gone. They're there they brought me back to a setting of remembrance.
Yeah.
Of it's okay. They're showing me that we're not alone when we think we're alone and we're suffering alone. They're watching over us. And I was fortunate enough, the only time in my life to go through that experience. And that was for 3 days in a row, because I would fall asleep in the afternoons. I would fall asleep certain times in the morning. I would at night and wake up and go back into that dream state. Yeah, and this happened for 3 days, and it was awesome. It was awesome because
I do remember you telling me that you were having really good dreams.
It was awesome because I got to see them again. I got to shake their hand and kiss my aunts hello, and there was a ton of food, which I love.
Yeah,
there was all these, but the food setting was back in the 80s as well. Everything was back in time. The pastries were there, and the way the boxes were set up from the pastry shops.
I love the way you say pastries.
Everything was back in that time. So is there a possibility that in the dream state, not only going back in time, but they're always there?
I definitely think so.
Have you ever had a loved one that you miss give you a sign?
Not give me a sign, but I did have that dream about my grandfather when I was 12. That I forgot about that. That I will never forget. I grew up in a really haunted house, and there was the man that died there was really, really evil, and he would torture us kids all the time. And I had that dream that my grandfather came to me in my dream, and he told me that he is never, ever going to bother you again, and he never did. And so that was, to consider that to be, I think that would be a sign.
Well, that's yeah.
He came to me in my dream, but that's like the only one that I really do remember.
And let's talk about, we just had an interview today. Let's talk about how we met.
Oh.
So, for those that have followed the Horsefly Chronicles story, there was also a girl named Sarah that has been involved with this story for years. And Sarah came forward as a young, innocent girl, no older than 13, but she was from back in the day. Maybe
12, I think you said 13.
Yeah, but maybe the 1800s, for example. She had a thick, heavy white dress on, black hair and white complexion, 5'5", high cheekbones, and a very powerful young girl. And we've had people throughout the years do the Ouija board and try to make contact. And some of those episodes were actually on Paranormal Zone TV. They're still on YouTube if you type it in.
You can find those there.
So we've had many, many people from around the world trying to communicate with Sarah from the Horsefly Chronicles home in Eastern Pennsylvania, and they were able to make contact with her. Some people lived in Louisiana, California, Florida, the UK, and she was able, through their devices and equipment, to make contact. And you hear the girl's voice.
Yeah.
She has a very distinct voice. So Sarah, in the Horsefly Chronicles story and in the real life story, I was at a nightclub in Staten Island called Silo, packed with a ton of people, and I remember getting pushed in the back. And she says, "That's her," and I bumped into you. And then now we're married 20-something years later. But isn't it interesting how the spirit, right? They know.
Why she picked? No, there's two good questions. Why did she pick me? We were talking about that today in the interview. Why? I think Kevin is back with us.
Oh yes, you can see me now. Yeah,
we can hear you.
We can't see you, but we can hear you, so that's good. We'll take that. Oh, we can see you too.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, thank you. Keep.
I wish I'd known this earlier. We could have set up way sooner, but I didn't realize it's such a problem today in the internet. I'm using Wi-Fi hotspot out in the woods where I live, and I'm really sorry. I should have done this. That's why I wanted to get this the link earlier so I could set this up.
Oh, okay.
From Austin,
and I'm sorry.
Anyway, so I guess condensed version of whatever. And I'm holding a headlamp on me so you can see me because I'm out here in the dark. So where should we begin?
Yes, I can see you now. So, really quick, can you give our guest a quick introduction of yourself?
Well, I'm Kevin Kinkade. I was born in Buffalo. My family's, German, Irish, French, supposedly some Cherokee and Kickapoo. Can't really verify that yet, but everybody's been pretty metaphysical in my family most of my life. I started these capabilities when I was 21, out of nowhere. It was remote viewing and a phone call to somebody in Buffalo when I was in Seattle, and I was able to see everybody where they're sitting, what they're wearing, and I described it all to them. And then I just developed the skills from there. When people say it's a gift, it's not a gift, it's a skill. Anybody can learn to do this. And that's my main focus. People are always trying to say, "Oh, you're not real, you're a phony," and they try to debunk you and try to trick you into doing things so they can say, "Hi, you're not really a psychic." I'm not interested in proving that I can do this. I'm interested in trying to show other people how they can do it too. So I learned tarot. I got on psychic fairs. I did the Renaissance Festival. I did a lot of private readings and online readings. I worked for a random.com for a while, which is an online site for psychics. And I also work as an actor, and that's been kind of slowed down because of vaccine mandates, so I'm not really doing that now. Trying to figure out where I want to live. I'm getting tired of Central Texas, thinking about Arkansas, but otherwise, that's it in a nutshell, right there. Anything else?
You've been in a lot of movies.
Yeah, a lot of movies. Well, you played the bad man in a lot of these movies. That was good.
Yeah, look, I'm the bad guy. Yeah, I play a lot of bad guys because they're a lot of fun to play, and they're kind of thing that not many people can play. You see a lot of younger guys that get into movies and they try to play an outlaw. They just don't have that edge. And I guess you have to live the kind of life where you've maybe spent some time in jail or been around some hard people to know how to have that kind of edge. It's like, I guess I watched a lot of Clint Eastwood when I was younger too, and I saw the way he portrayed his characters. Maybe I picked up some of his stuff, but yeah, I do get cast that way a lot. I've had trouble when I had to cast other movies of my own, trying to find somebody that could play that kind of a deadly character, and I could never find anybody. It's really difficult. It's really difficult to find anybody who has that kind of quality. And the problem is, you get too many people who overplay it. A real gangster is understated. The guys that go around, acting like they think they're alpha males, yo man, what's up? They're wannabes. The real outlaws, they don't go around advertising it. It's an understated quality, and it's something that people notice and pick up on. And of course, if you're at all have any even as a psychic, people pick up on that energy, and it makes you a target. And you have to spend a lot of time learning how to deflect that stuff. You don't want to go toe to toe with these people because it gets you nowhere.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to just kind of and anybody who starts to develop these abilities will discover that the higher vibrational level it goes, the fewer people you can really relate to. And you find you have a lot of people that just want to challenge you. And you can just be sitting there minding your own business, and somebody come up and just start some shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, so I guess that makes it easy to play those kind of roles.
Yeah.
You get used to defending yourself, and you know how to, that you gain a certain sense of confidence that allows you to get to that level, which is, I said, understated rather than overstated. But
Well,
anyway,
that's
we're
a good.
so committed. We're so like.
That's well. What he said is true. The higher vibration, you're raising above, and then you have, like you said, you got the haters or the wannabes, but you're above all that now. You created, you're moving up in your energy level. Has your abilities helped you
yeah,
to get into
and you can't let that
as a
stuff affect.
Can you hear?
Hello.
Yes.
You said something about my
Has your
abilities. What
abilities
did
ever
they help?
I don't know if you can hear.
Help me with what?
Yeah.
Getting into movies?
Being intuitive will help you as an actor, that's for sure, because you have to learn how to read people, you have to learn how to play them, and you have to learn how to get to a certain depth. Um, I'd say that acting helps me be a better psychic more than the other way around. And when I was talking to Bobby, our mutual friend, a while back when he asked me this question, I said, he said, "What's your goal as far as an actor, a psychic? Does being a psychic help you get better as an actor?" And I said, to me, psyching is just being an actor is just a challenge. My goal is to reach a higher vibrational level. Acting is just one of the things you do. It's one of the processes. That's not the important part. It's the process itself. And so when you're trying to get into these characters and you're trying to reach that level where it's really authentic, it helps open up more channels in yourself that does help you reach a higher vibrational level, does help you reach um, more depth in your characters. So they kind of work together in that respect. But that's not the goal. That's just the process. Anybody who's an artist will tell you the process is more important than the goal. The goal is just something to tell you you've reached a certain point. You still have more challenges. In the tarot deck, the Nine of Cups shows somebody who's basking in all this wonderful, abundance, and they've reached a stagnation level. So then the Ten of Cups, and it's time to go on to the next level and start over again. So you're constantly reaching these cycles and these revolutions where that's the whole point of being here. And I know you're talking about um, the afterlife earlier, and I'm one of those people that believes that we keep coming back to this particular earth plane to meet certain challenges that will help us evolve to a higher vibrational level. And then when we move on to the afterlife, we're at another level there than we were before. So this is kind of like training camp. And people that take it so seriously about success being about what you gain as far as society or money or anything, you're missing the point. The point is the process. What you're doing to reach those goals is where you're doing the real work. And so as an actor, I meet challenges I wouldn't meet otherwise to help me reach that level sooner. If I looked at acting just as a goal to get, rewards and money and recognition, you'd reach a certain stagnation level. You would never evolve as a human. You would never reach a higher level as an actor either. Because the older you get, the more your talent grows because you're working on a process rather than saying, yeah, look at me. I won a medal, So um, that's what it is for me, basically.
I definitely
And
believe in that. It's the process, and then the goal you want to reach. Obviously, whatever you're doing, whether it's sports but it's the process of it. And I think that too many people, especially in today's world, are lost in materialistic things, and it takes away the true value of the reason we're here in the first place, the core essence of the soul, what the soul is trying to experience. And because society is so polluted with Mrs. Jones has this and I have to keep up with them, that people get diluted in all this and affect their own lifespan according to what they should have. And it's sad. I always talk to the kids about that. Back in the 70s, 60s, it was different. The core value isn't there anymore. It's gone to technology and what could I have next? You find yourself burning out, but you're not living.
But it's always been that way, all throughout history. There's only a certain percentage of people that understand what exactly they're here for, and a smaller percentage that actually figure out, the key to that knowledge. People go to various religious sects because they feel like if they follow certain doctrines, they will get into heaven. That's completely missing the point. That's not what it's about. So all this spirituality throughout the ages has just been people following certain rules and dogma without even realizing that the reason you eat certain foods and not others is not because it'll help you get into heaven, because it makes your body more able to reach that higher vibrational level. And people miss that point. And the ancients, they understood all this, but it got lost over the years with dogma and people repeat. I have been to church before. They're all sitting there and they're looking at these books and reciting these things over and over again. The Lord be with you and also with you. Let us pray. And it's like they're not even tuning into what's going on. You could jump up and run around the pews and they probably wouldn't even notice. So I think it's always been that way, and it's amazing. You look around and you realize that a lot of people maybe have a vague idea of the afterlife or their spirit or whatever. Then you have atheists that claim that there is nothing after this, and they don't understand that in order to have a body that's animated and alive, you need that electromagnetic energy. That is the soul. And it's that electromagnetic energy that is your soul that allows you to connect with other people and the magnetic grid of the planet, which allows you to use your psychic energy like a tool, like an antenna, to tune into the antennas of the other people around you and to use the magnetic grid to remote view and see places that are far away. It's all based on that electromagnetic energy. And if you as a paranormal investigators, you probably know this, that people use those EMFs in order to find soul in the room, see if that energy is there. So, and as a psychic, you will also, if you go to a house that's been haunted, has a lot of residual energy, you can see the images just by being in the house. And if any spirits are there, you can feel their energy and you can communicate with them. And I've done this before in a house in Corpus Christi, and it was astounding to find out that everything I saw was being verified by the people that lived in the house. And I knew there were ghosts there because you could hear them slamming around upstairs all night long, moving furniture and stomping around. So that's basically the whole thing there. That if everybody in this planet were able to reach that level of awareness and that vibrational level, if it reaches 10%, the whole planet gets it, and then we're in a whole different paradigm. And we're not there yet. We got to go through a lot of, excuse my language, we have to go through a lot of shit first before we get to that point. And that's what we're headed for right now. So some of us have to tune into that. And, there's a song by The Clash, no one will guide you through Armageddon times. No one will guide you. But there are people you can connect with that are on the same level. And others that are trying to reach that level that are almost there that you can help reach that level of awareness. But you can't go out and preach to the world and make some profound statement, and it's going to make everybody else suddenly get it, because it's not going to happen. Nietzsche wrote a book called The Antichrist, and in it he said, this book belongs to the very few, perhaps not one of them is even living yet. He wrote that book in the mid-19th century knowing that probably nobody on the planet that was alive at that time could understand what he was trying to say. And probably most people reading it today don't get it either. But he's basically talking about the power of the human spirit and how it's watered down through religion. And religion tends to, it's based more on pity rather than power. We want power. We want to grow and evolve. That doesn't mean you have to crush other people like a narcissist. But if you gain more power, other people follow you. And it becomes contagious and it grows. And when it reaches that level, it becomes universal. So that's basically what my goal is here on this planet right now. And I'm sure a lot of people that are on the same path, and I'm meeting more and more of them every day. And we're going to reach a time where we're going to be challenged really seriously going forward. So
I have a question for you. Have you ever had a paranormal experience on a set of a movie?
no. No, I never have. No.
That's good.
I've had some pretty poor experience. I've had some pretty amazing experiences on this movie. Like I did a movie last summer called Dark Red, where I had to play a cop that actually killed someone, and the guy comes to visit me at my place out in the country, and I'm going through a lot of emotional trauma. That was such a euphoric experience to be able to work with another actor, reach that level where you're just tuning into each other. And every time we did a take, it was not exactly the same. It was always different because it was always fresh and authentic. And that almost probably the best spiritual experience I've ever had in my life. And I reached a certain level working with this other actor. It was euphoric. And that's why acting is so addictive, because you want to get that rush you feel, not from the audience, but from working with somebody else who can reach that same level you can and just hit the moment where you're both just hitting it, bang, 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 back and forth, bang, bang, bang. And man, I tell you, that's a spiritual experience right there, but there weren't any ghosts involved. So that's the closest I've come.
And your book.
Yes, we don't have a lot. Unfortunately, we don't have too much time, but I really want to talk about your book. You study dreams. Tell me about the book.
Well, the book was basically a dream journal I started doing online, and somebody said I should turn it into a book. I was having some really amazing dreams. And if you read some of these dreams, they're just mind blowing. And I figured, where are these dreams coming from? I had a dream where I was running and I woke up in the morning and my legs were sore. I mean, stuff like this. Dreams that I was being visited by dead spirits. And I wake up in the morning and I knew there was a spirit in the house when I woke up, or out there in the woods outside my house. So it's basically a dream journal. And then I try to answer some questions. I actually ask more questions than I answer. And I also wrote some poems and stories that were based on dreams. And I'm basically trying to figure out, okay, there's different types of dreams. Some seem to me to be regurgitation or your mind working stuff out. Others seem to be you're in another reality. You wake up and you realize it was so vivid, so clear, you realize you were in an alternate dimension. And then there are others that are reincarnation dreams, or dreams where you're actually speaking to someone who has passed away.
Yes.
And that's another thing too. If you have any psychic abilities, it's like you're a light in the forest and the moths come to you. And if you don't put up good shields, I've had a spirit of somebody passed away that I knew took me 2 years to get him to move on. It was driving me insane. I knew to attract that. And a lot of younger people that don't know what's going on, they experience that and it freaks them out. And they become very ostracized in their community. And it takes a lot to help a child like that develop their skills and help them learn how to handle it rather than scoffing at them and saying they're crazy. And that's what a lot of children who are born with these abilities are struggling with right now. So,
I agree.
yeah, the book's basically about the different dreams I had and what I was trying to understand what they were saying, basically. I remember having a dream where I was running through some road in the woods and I encountered these people that were doing these weird scientific experiments out in the woods. And they looked at me like, hey, you don't belong here. What are you doing here? You better leave now before somebody finds out you're here. And there were people coming, spaceships and landing on the ground, and they were like, cross between Conan and, Luke Skywalker or something. And they said, hey, have you been up there yet? I said, no, I haven't been there yet. And they told me like, are you sure you're supposed to be here? And I got out and ran away. And I woke up the next morning, my legs felt like, where was I in that dream? That wasn't just something regurgitating in my head. There was something happening out there. Or having a dream where I was in the Space Needle in Seattle. And I said, I've astral projected. I was like a lucid dream. I said, I'm here. I'm finally in Seattle. And I wandered around and I found some door and opened up. Some guy was behind the door and he goes, wait, man, you're not supposed to find me. I said, well, who are you? He said, I'm the man behind the scenes. You're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to find me. Go. Weird stuff like that. And so I was just trying to understand what these dreams are about. And that's why I wrote the book. And
you talked about our dream friends. What is that?
Yeah, dream friends. Well, dream friends are like people that you meet in the dream world that don't exist in the real world, but you see them over and over again. And you wonder, who are these people? You know, they're people that you see and you say, oh, good to see you again. Where have you been? And you wake up and you say, who is that person? I don't know that person in the real waking world. They're dream friends. And so you wonder, where am I going? So I'm really curious about dreams and where you go in dreams and where you come, what types, there's various types of dreams. There's lucid dreams, which are freaky as hell. And I had one time, and I remember in a dream that Don Juan, Carlos Castaneda's friend Don Juan, said, when you have a lucid dream, look at your hands. And when I did, they glowed like golden colored. And then my voice sounded like it was underwater. Then when I moved my hands away from my eyes and looked ahead again, my voice became normal. I put my hands in front of my eyes, and they turned golden, and my voice was like it was underwater. What was that all about? So that's basically, yeah. And in that dream, I was with Chuck D of Public Enemy, for all people, believe it. And what was I doing with Chuck D, you know? So yeah, things like that make me curious.
I had that dream last night.
Anything else?
No.
Yeah, I did. And I didn't know who it was. But I knew them in the dream.
You knew them in the dream.
I woke up, I didn't know who it was. I was
Right.
thinking about it, but I knew them in the dream.
So
So I think that there's a part of
Yeah,
us
that's weird.
that subconsciously goes on into another, whether we want to call it dimension. I believe that the soul, the spirit, is crossing into their world. For example, you know, being a paranormal investigator and trying to reach the other side, I think it's the biggest form of meditation that we're able to transcend into their realm.
Yeah. You know, that's why I kind of visit.
we can't really hear you. Oh God.
But I had that dream last night. It's ironic. And I think that people should buy his book because dreams are fascinating.
A really good book. Definitely go to Amazon.com and get that book.
Yeah, you definitely want to check it out. I love talking about dreams.
I know you do.
Because I think that there's so much content involved with that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Oh, I'm working on another book now that's going to be about how. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
The next book Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I'm working on a book now that's going to be about somebody who commits suicide. What happens to their soul after they commit suicide? That's the book I'm working on now.
Okay.
Another book I'm working on is going to be about how people can develop their own psychic abilities. So those are the next two on the line. I'm also working on some screenplays for movies, but as far as books go, those are what I'm working on now. So I'll let y'all know when those come out too.
They'll all be available on Amazon, right? On Amazon, we could find them, right?
Amazon or someplace, wherever I can find a place to do it. You know, it's just a matter of where. Amazon's available right now. It's easy. I have it on Kindle and I have also in paperback for Dream World. But man, I wish I'd figured this whole internet thing out here sooner, because I could have been on the phone with you a lot sooner than having to rush this through. Sometimes my signal in the house works, sometimes it doesn't, and this time it's thank God I figured out how to go outside with it. But
you think that as a psychic, that the soul picks the life it wants to live?
That's the theory according to Newton, or not Newton. Who's that guy? Newman? I can't remember his name now. He's the one that wrote Journey of the Souls. That's his theory, that you choose your life. You have a soul group. You choose the people you're going to reincarnate with. Sometimes you do several lifetimes with the same people, trying to work out different things. It's kind of like being in the stage in a theater production, and you play different characters in each production. Like Shakespeare said, the whole world's a stage, and each of us must play a part. So I believe that theory makes sense to me. I can't prove it.
Right.
I can't remember the name of the guy who did the book Journey of the Soul, but he was basically doing hypnosis, and he was finding these things out from people he put under hypnosis. So based on his, if he's telling the truth, then that's the evidence right there. But I do believe you choose your challenges, and sometimes you get in this earth plane, you forget what your challenges are, you forget why you're here. You don't remember the reason, and some people don't get that figured out until the next lifetime or the one after that. Sometimes it takes several lifetimes to figure out, okay, this is what I'm working on. So I think that's the main thing. You're trying to choose your challenges, and I'm assuming there's some lifetimes where maybe you want to pick a lifetime that's not all work and just fun. Like I want to have a lifetime where I'm a pro athlete, you make a lot of money. I don't know. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But
I believe the
I think,
soul chooses its challenges and what it wants to learn, and going through
yeah,
that experience. Because if you
I
think
believe
about
that too.
it, you're going to write a book on suicide and despair and where it goes, and then having interviewed so many people from around the world for years, myself and Julie, everybody said something like, it's the lifespan that it wanted to just be here for a short period of time. And
Yeah.
I don't condone suicide, but there's so many things, and communicating with the other side, like, why does someone die? Why does a child die so young? It's as if, from my experience and other people, that this is what it chose.
Yeah.
And it's hard for us to digest that as human beings, saying, hey, wait a second, that's wrong. But communicating with that side and asking why the spirit, why did you have such a short existence here? This is what we're getting back in some sort of sense through EVPs. Like, they've chosen a short path before they even came here. They've chosen their parents.
Yeah.
They chosen what they wanted to experience. And again, we find it hard. I still find it hard to grasp, but that's what we're getting back from the other side.
Yeah. And I don't condone suicide either, but what the book's trying to make is this person goes back and evaluates all the choices he made that led him to that moment where he made that choice, and coming to the conclusion that he never finished what he was there for, so now he's got to go back and try again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Which is,
Yep.
So that's,
yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to do with that.
You didn't finish, so you have to go back, and you may go back on a higher vibration to finish it up.
Yes.
And go through it. It's fascinating because we make up everything as human beings. We make up time, we make up space, but according to the other side, there is no time. It's kind of like, I always get lost in these conversations with that time travel because I'm a believer in some sort of that these people that are having some experiences of going back and forward in time and seeing other people, there's those possibilities of creating this journey of what they're experiencing. I don't think they're all crazy.
No, it's just so many questions, right?
Yeah. Well, one of the lines in the movie I shot a while ago was "Voices of the Dead," and in the end of one of the final lines, the guy says, "You spend your whole life looking." Said you come here with no guidance, no instruction. You spend your whole life looking for answers when you're not even sure what the questions are. It's kind of the way it is.
Yep, it's true. Well, we're really happy that we got a chance.
Yeah, we got a chance to talk to you. Where can people find you, and tell everyone what you have going on?
Well, I've got a website that's a photography website with T-shirts and posters that I'm setting up now. That's called wildstreetstore.com. Wildstreetstore.com. I haven't finished setting it up yet. I've got my actors page, which is kevinkinkade.com. I'm no longer going to be on Facebook after tonight. I'm deleting it. I'm going to be in some other social media platforms, but if you go to my kevinkinkade.com or the other one, wildstreetstore.com, there's ways to connect with me there. There's contact link at the bottom, so you can send me emails and any questions or anything like that. But I'm not on Twitter or Instagram anymore. I'm not on Facebook anymore. I've dumped all of them.
Well,
I'm going to be in some other networks.
TikTok.
No, I don't do TikTok. I know I did this recently too. There's other networks, the other networks. There's other networks I'm on now. I'm sorry, what?
TikTok.
It's crazy, but a lot of people like TikTok. It's that platform where they're getting their messages across. So it is funny, but it's entertaining at the same time. We'd love to have you on in the future with a better connection and really get down to. We had so many questions.
Yeah, I'd like to do that too. Yeah. I'm sorry this happened. I think, before I did this with Bobby, I had no trouble connecting, but for some reason, this particular link doesn't work in my house with my Wi-Fi connection, which is all I've got right now. There's nothing else out here. I live too far away for cable or anything else. So if I have to do this again, I'll get my Wi-Fi hotspot and I'll drive into town and sit in my car and do it.
Okay.
And I wish I would have done that today.
Yeah.
I wish I'd gotten a link earlier because I could have set this up and figured it out by that time. But do contact me. You've got my information in Messenger, and I'll be deleting it after tonight. So
okay, I got you.
Send me a text or something so we can.
You're gonna be off the grid.
Yeah. So contact me by email or my text by with the phone number I gave you on Messenger, and we'll connect again and try this again. Okay. I really look forward to it. Thanks for having me on.
We actually have some questions in chat, but unfortunately, the hour's up. We have other people coming on after us. So to the person in chat, we are sorry. We just can't get to it right now. When we do have Kevin on in another episode, we're going to get to the questions with a better connection and give him a lot of the floor time because a lot of things people want to know as well. So thank you so much for coming on Horsefly Chronicles Radio. We really do appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And special thank you to Carnation for fully sponsoring the show. We love them. And join us again next Monday night at 8 p.m. EST 7 CST on 105.3 FM from New Orleans.
Thank you, everyone. Have a safe, great night. Don't forget where to find Kevin, get his book, and a very interesting guest. And dreams are so big. It's a part of everyone's life. Stay tuned for next week and the next show. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Kevin.
Thank you. Bye-bye.